All right. So I think we might have a few people short just because they're probably getting ready to travel. But that is why we're recording this. And I don't know if you guys listened to the National Wake Up Call or to Holly's Summit Prep, but I listened to it this morning and it actually really pumped me up because I've gone to a few summits before. I didn't go last year because I was too pregnant, but I knew this was a investment to my business, but I always just went in I'm just going to learn as much as I can and hang out with my coaches at the time or business partners and just enjoy it and then come back and read my notes and then figure out an action plan. But I love how they are structuring it to a point where it's have a plan, have goals, have a marketing plan, know what you're going to share. And that's what's going to make this most successful for you and for your business and reaching your goals. So, first things first, I made a group. It's called Business Opportunity Information Group, something. I kept it very big. And then I put San Antonio edition. It is posted in Elevate Gym. It's tagged at the top. If you want to be a part of that group on Facebook, that's where we're going to be sharing all the things related to Summit. So that's where we might go live. We might drop videos and pictures and all the things to feel like you're at the event. So if you're not going, I strongly recommend joining the group and then also inviting people who have been interested in the coaching opportunity or partner opportunity, because we're sharing all the things. People love live events. They get FOMO and it's the energy and it's amazing. And I think it's really important for people to see that. And we're going to try to do our best to share as much as we can while also being present with with each other. So we don't have a specific laid out plan, but the goal is to share as much as we can on there. The sessions that will be recorded if you are not going are opening session and closing session. So I'm going to share a visual with you in a second, but for those of you not going, all these calls really hit home for me because you kind of do have FOMO. You wish you were going. You're probably not stressed about packing and getting out the door, but there's still purpose in things you can share and use this as a tool to grow your business. So don't sit back and be like, oh crap, I should have gone. I challenge each of you, and I want to do it right now actually, to think whether you're going or not, just take a minute and say, okay, why am I going? Or why am I not going? Write it down, and you're going to share that with people on your stories, on your social. And maybe you're not going and you're kind of wishing you were going, or it's in line with your family plans, or you're not quite where you want to be in this business financially, but next year you're pushing and the financial aspect is not going to be an issue. Maybe you are going because you've seen huge transformations from this business and live events are huge for the energy and momentum and setting big goals. I want you guys to just think about that reason why or why not you are going. Write it down if you need to, but this is going to be something I want you to share. I know Holly broke it down really well of things you can share and each day what to talk about, but let people feel like they understand why or why not you're there and your energy behind it. Maybe you are upset. Maybe you're disappointed. Maybe you're just content, but whatever it is, I challenge you guys to share that tomorrow because the event is kicking off Thursday officially, unless you're elite, through Saturday evening. But start talking about it. I literally I was like, oh, it's not that like close. It's not that close. And then I'm like, holy shit. Yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to pack. And I started talking about it yesterday, but like, I kept saying, oh, I'm fine. I'm good. It's not here yet. So it snuck up on us. And especially if you're not going, it snuck up on you. So I want you to sit down and just brainstorm and lay out the plan of like, why or why not did you go? Share it with the world, and then say, I've been plugging little things. I'm like, hey, like, stay tuned, watch my stories. I'm going to be sharing this. Or if you're not going, my team's going to be sharing this. And I have a post coming up at 9:05 on our Facebook page this evening, because I was being extra prepared. I'm going to put the recording of this call, and then it's going to have the link to the Facebook page that I'm talking about, where we're going to share all the content that I want you to share with others. You're going to request to join. You're going to also, I think I said, drop a comment if you want to be tagged in the things that we are tagging people in, even though you're not there. Obviously, we'll tag people that are in the picture, but if you want to be tagged in a part of the group so you can share and then talk about it in some way for your business, you have to drop a comment there so we can tag you. And I think that was something Holly said that was really impactful. Like, you can still be there in spirit, and we can still like tag you if you want to be tagged, and you can share the things, and maybe every evening go on and talk on your story and be like, hey, here's this, I shared that. My teammates or my business partners are doing XYZ, and this gives me a vision for a year down the road that I'm going to be there. This means they're going to bring back training so I can better be a mentor for my business partners and implement it for everyone that is getting started with me. Like, use that to your advantage. So look for that post. It's going to come up at 9:05 this evening. The other things that I really wanted to talk about are the fact that she said, download the Body Events app. They post pictures there from each evening. And I never thought to do this, but literally, like, elite night, go snag some pictures of how cool it looks in this building that they normally have an amazing theme, all the fancy stuff. It's like insane. And grab some of those pictures and say, if this is your goal, I'm going to be there next year. Or this business, XYZ, fill in the blank. Like, feel free to grab those pictures. And I think just looking through them yourself, you're going to get this energy and excitement about watching them and want to be there. So I think that's a really good idea. But like I said, we'll definitely tag you. We can share things with you. And I really do encourage you guys to share things if you're not going. And tune in when you can to the opening and closing sessions. Let me pull it up. Screen. Okay, I'm sharing my screen and I'm sharing my emails. Okay, so this was something that she posted. So you're gonna see opening session is 8 p.m. and it's, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's Central Time.
You're correct. So it's an hour before us, which is concerning to me because I go to bed at 9:30. So this is like at my bedtime in our time zone. So I'm going to be struggling.
Yes, I will say you don't get a lot of sleep and you're kind of tired, but you have this like weird energy that is like, you just keep going. You're like, adrenaline's going and you're like, oh, this is great. And then you talk about it and I don't know, I can't explain it, but you are tired, very, very tired when you get back. But it's like a good, like, you want to do all the things, but you actually need to sleep tired. Here's the app.
Energize is for.
We'll all be cracked out on caffeine.
I'm going to be stalking everyone.
Yes, that's a good thing though. And if you want, we can tag you. Like, I know she talked about like trying to have each of us, like, if we want to post a little bit throughout the day and then like doing a recap at the end, and like literally I don't mind tagging you and whoever else wants it, because then you can share it and then not only have your own like, oh, this is so exciting, but like then turn around and like face it the other way and be like, this is why I am excited, and share it with people. I'm excited to watch. Oh, my watch thinks I'm talking to it. I'm excited to just watch even starting Elite Night, and I'm going to be watching the ones going Wednesday. I'm not going till Thursday morning. So yes, I feel that. So yes, so this session right here, it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern time. It is, my understanding is it's live streaming on the Body page where they do like the National Wake Up Call. So you can watch that one. We will try to go into that Facebook page that we created, share for our workouts, share pictures or videos or whatever throughout the days. We are going to do this first timers mingle because Becky and Steven and Becky and I will be going to the Success Club Party qualification required event. So we're going to share all those things. So stay tuned to that. I don't really know how to, there we go. And then the other session on Saturday that is going to be live for everyone to watch is 9 p.m. Saturday night, the celebration. So I know it's not all the sessions, and it could be a little like, oh, why don't they share like the general sessions, which is normally like a guest speaker or someone, but I think it's awesome that they're sharing at least something, and then we will try to make up for that and share all the things as well. Let's see what else she has here. All right, so she broke this down and I thought it was really cool. And something you guys can take a picture of or whatever, but here's what I was talking about before. Week before summit, day before summit, 2 days before summit. Here's some things you can talk about, whether you're going or not. Share what's coming, the live workouts, the trainings, what you're excited for. How are you feeling? She said you could do like a countdown, and then it gets people to be like, oh, I'm actually interested. What is happening? And they keep checking in with you during the week. I found it interesting. And I don't know if you guys thought this was interesting, but she put airport pic. She's like, everyone loves an airport pic. And like, I'm like, oh, okay. And then these are just really good prompts that you could use to talk about the whole week, especially if you're not there, taking what you're tagged in, taking like what you see on other people's stories and pictures and all that stuff, and then talking about it.
They probably also, with like the airport thing, Abby, like they'll have like a welcome body. Like I know that they usually do that at, like, I'm excited because I've never flown to an event. So like usually when you drive in, like, but the entire like city of San Antonio will have like banners everywhere, like pictures of the super trainers, and it's pretty awesome. So
even like the billboards sometimes have like the top 10 coaches, and it's like, welcome partners or whatever.
Like people in San Antonio that live there probably want to like leave because we be coming to town.
Yeah, so it is crazy, and I can't explain, but we need to try to take pictures of just like the energy and how much they really plan and prepare and set up, and like even like the VIP parties and the check-in and the shake bar, like all the things are unreal to see. And I think we'll try to do our best to share that with everybody, because it's so easy to be like stuck in the taking it all in. I want to be present, but we do need to try to use certain moments of the day to share it. And then another key thing is after the event, do a question box or whatever and share your vision, share about the opportunity. And I think that's going to be key there. you can share all these things, but in the end, if you're not really sharing your vision and inviting to the opportunity of whatever you're choosing to invite to, whether it be the partner opportunity or just your accountability groups, like it's not that there's no point in doing it, but you need to take the action to see the results. And you want to show like, hey, this was a week, but I'm going to keep implementing this. I'm going to keep showing up and invite those people, share it with them, see who's watching your stories, see who's liking your stuff, see who's commenting on your stuff, and really just dive in and know that it's kind of like so for me, I need to come talk to you guys again. I'm going to get rid of this screen. Maybe if I can figure out how. Here I come. Okay. So personally, I have been inviting more to the partner opportunity, and it scares the crap out of me. But every morning, I've been listening to I don't really know what it is. It's like a mindset like thing from a life coach where she's like, you are capable, you are worthy, you've already achieved your biggest goals. And she talks like that for 6 minutes, where you're like basically unconsciously like getting these beliefs in your mind to shift your mindset. And then I have been going and sending 5 voice message invites to the partner opportunity each working day. And it still scares me, but at the same time, it's like, this could be changing their lives. That's what I keep telling myself. And we're going to get no's, and that's okay. So after this event, you might have these big, scary dreams or thoughts or things you want to implement or whatever, and have all this energy. And maybe you're scared to invite people, but I want you to do it scared and show up and literally just be like, I need to share this. I know it's changed my life, and that's our job. So I know we kind of all get stuck on the fact of like, hey, you know what? This is awesome. I'm sharing it. I love it. And then we never invite anyone. And it's that old thing I say all the time. If you are inviting to a birthday party on Instagram, but I don't get an invite personally, I'm not going to your birthday party. That's weird. So like, why do we not invite? So I challenge you guys to really, as you're getting this energy and momentum, remember the action at the end. Remember what our job is. This is a business investment. This is why we're going. It is fun, but it's not just fun. Like, we need to be strategic and use this as a way that's going to implement new things and change and growth and all the things. And just like your future plan. And I think a huge thing with me right now is vision. So sit down and like literally close your eyes and have a vision of where you want to be next year, maybe before the event. And then after you listen to some of the events, at the end of like on Sunday or whatever, sit back and be like, okay, take it all in. Now, where do you see yourself? And really share that with people. And it's scary to share your vision with people, especially if it seems outrageous, but like, I bet you they're watching, and I bet you they're scared to do anything new too. And they're literally applauding you for getting out of your comfort zone and just taking that step towards something you truly believe in. So I guess with all of that, I think the main goal is to enjoy it, take it all in, dream big, learn from it, but then also take that action after and be intentional about what you're doing, what you're sharing, whether you're there or not. And if you're not sure like what to invite to after, every single month, I say I am doing a partner mentorship. People might think you're crazy, but they're also going to think, dang, I wish I had her confidence too. Yes, so true. And they'll keep watching, and you're going to be contagious. And then they're going to come back and ask you what the heck you are doing, because you're not going to lose your energy. Yes, we're human. We have bad days, but like in the end, you're still going to show up consistently. But if you're like, oh, I have nothing to invite to, I don't know what to offer people, you do. That's why we all work together. That's why we say we have a partner mentorship, because any coach that signs up any partner that signs up in the month, we're all going to work together and we're going to train them together. We're going to get them started together. We're going to walk them through the simple steps of getting started together. You don't have to do it alone. So like, I'm going to be there. Becky's going to be there. Everyone is going to be there and we're going to help you. So don't be nervous to invite because you feel like you don't know what to do next. We got that. It's just taking that scary step and taking that action so people actually know that you're talking to them. And I think that's going to be like, I'm telling you all this stuff because this is the thoughts I've had in my head of like what I'm going to do. So I hope it's helping you. I'm not like I'm not speaking at you. I'm saying like, I've been thinking about this all day and I'm really excited and this is my goals and this is what I'm going to do. And I took all these notes and I literally did this when I was working out with Energize, and I was like watching Brady and it was craziness. And then she needed a nap. And my head was like, I need to write all these ideas down. I was like excited and I couldn't find a good quote, but it was like, the feeling of excitement feels the same as the feeling of being anxious. And I never fully understood that. And I think that's the coolest thing ever. Cause I was literally like, oh my God, I need to calm down. Like I'm like spiraling out of control, but then I'm like, but wait, I'm just excited and they feel the same. So I'm actually excited, even though it's like scary and new and I'm going away and all these things and I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. Like that's okay to not know the future, but call it excitement. Cause then I was like, this is so cool. But normally before a trip, I am like, I'm so anxious. And then I like spiral out, but make it negative. So now I was just spiraling in a positive way, if that makes sense.
I just told the session I had right before our team call, I told my client that exact phrase when the shifting her anxiety and her fear to excitement. And she laughed at me and looked at me like I had 10 heads and was like, that makes no sense to me. I was like, just try it. But I love that because I just told her that.
That's awesome. And it's weird because I get anxious and it does feel the same. And it's just literally how you can rewire your mindset to like, think of it as positive or negative. And it does sound crazy. Honestly, it does. But it makes, once you feel it, you'll know what I mean. So with that, the
mindset thing in the body with how like they keep like going back and saying, you know, like take a moment, like give yourself grace, you know, give yourself permission to be human. And for me, like if I feel like I'm having like an anxiety moment, I just like sit down and take a deep breath and I'm like, I'm human. And it's just like, it takes that much. And it's the shift from anxiety to excitement for me. So it's really awesome how you can shift it like that.
I'm glad that even just those small videos and practices can help you do that, because it isn't like you have to be an expert or like read all the books. It's literally like a 5-second exercise that you can get in the habit of. I love that. And I saw you posted I think it was a badge that you did the mindset.
Yes, I got through it. Yay. I finally took it because Becky kept saying, like, I kept feeling so bad because I would see everybody in the WhatsApp in like Team Phoenix. I kept seeing everybody posting like different things. I'm like, oh, I want to watch this or I want to watch that. And then when Becky said like last week, the week before something, how she mentioned how like she's sticking with one and finishing it off and bouncing around all the time. And that has helped me so much because my brain will get so like the only time I have really to do any kind of like personal development other than like Saturday, Sunday, like early in the morning is on my way home from work. And those little clips are like 15 minutes long are perfect for me. So being able to like just stick with it. And like today I did the Monday and Friday things that they have in there, like at the end of each one. I busted through all of them, the Mondays and the Fridays in like the Good Life one or whatever. I busted through all of them on the way home. I got my badge today because I was like, oh, I still have time. We're going to play the next one. So I just kept rolling them. And I got the badge. I'm like, I didn't realize I'd get a badge. So I got all of them done. And I got it now. I was so excited.
That's awesome. And honestly, I don't know if it's just a day, but you actually seem like your mindset's in a better place today. Like you actually have this like energy and light about you. And I don't know.
It's funny because I had a really, really crap day at work. They're trying to change our computer systems. So they got like, they're starting to bring in like the hardware and stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, go ahead and practice it. And it took me 4 hours to get the IT guy to understand the fact that like what they were trying to tell us that we need to practice doing, we can't do because it's technically like against the law because of the equipment they're using is not compatible with the current computer system we use.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have something come up from the courts and it has to be subpoenaed, we have to be able to send a copy of it, not an original. And their equipment turns everything into like a picture instead of seeing all the documents that were scanned. So it took me like 3 hours to get him to understand that I had to like literally pick up the packet of paperwork and be like, 7 pages, picture. Does this make sense now? And like I came home and my husband went to me, he's like, are you okay? I said, no. I said, I am completely exhausted. And I just like, I sat between being outside and in the house. I just sat for like 2 hours and just did, you know, like business stuff on my phone. Just because I was like, if I don't do this, I'm going to fall asleep and then I'm not going to be up for team calls. So I did all that, crushed all that out, and I'm here now. So I was like, I got to be productive somehow. So yeah.
Oh, good. You have a good energy about you, even for that day. I can see it and feel it. So I have done a lot of talking. Do you guys have any key takeaways that you're going, like, after listening to those calls, no matter your situation, if you're going or not, let's all share one thing that we would like to implement this week based on what we know now. What is one thing you're committing to?
I can go.
Don't be afraid to overshare content.
Oh, sorry.
The one I just watched it like right before call, and she said, how did she put it? I put it in my phone real quick. She said, do not skimp on the amount of content you are putting out. And I think that was one thing that was holding me back with the reels, because I've been trying to do them like one a day and I've been getting better about it. And I think me mentally, I was just afraid that I was just going to be kind of like a repetitive, like beating a dead horse situation. But I'm like, at the same time, like people need to see this stuff multiple times. People need to see things in different wording or hear it in different wording. So I'm like, why not? And I try to post the stuff to my story sometimes, but I end up posting it like on my profile or whatever. And then I shared to my story. So I said, you know what, forget it. I did a post. Now I did a reel and I got 2 things up today. So we'll roll with it.
Yeah. And I think even this week, commit to your posting, but even have your post be structured more around the coaching opportunity or the event or like your vision or some of those things that Holly laid out, and just share more of the business stuff or coaching stuff. And I think that would be awesome. I did like how I think she said even like, you feel like you want to be present and then you come home and you're like, oh, I didn't take enough pictures. So it's almost like the same thing, even not being there. It's like, oh, I didn't share enough this week and it was so impactful. And now no one knows how impactful it was. Thank you. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany?
Yes. So what I loved from the National Wake Up Call was when she said, oh gosh, and now I'm drawing a blank. Oh, she was like, the second that you hear something that you feel like you need to implement or that might work or whatever, she was like, do it like that day. And don't just like write it down and then be like, oh, I'll review my notes when I'm on the plane home or whatever. And then I'll maybe circle back around to it. But no, like do one thing new each day. And then how she just talked about like the process of trying it out and seeing if it works for you, see if it feels in alignment, and switch it up if you need to. And it's like everyone is different. Someone on the stage can be swearing by a certain way of doing something, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't feel right for you. So that, and then also I think Corinne said it, but yeah, talking about coaching a lot more. I feel like also during the wake up call, I was just like very focused on, I just had the realization like that is the most important thing right now. And so I feel like everything is just focused on coaching or the opportunity, partner opportunity and everything. So that's something that I'm really focusing on, really making all my posts centered on, and we're just going to see where it goes from there.
Yeah. And I think even to like the marketing plan, it's like the third week of the month. And it's like this week, talk all about the opportunity. And I think if you're talking about on your story, you're posting about it, and you're doing all the things, like hitting every aspect of it, people are going to be hearing it, and then it's going to be repetitive. And then they're going to be like, wait, what the heck is she actually doing? And they're going to be curious, and then they're going to reach out to you. And that's why I think it's really cool to end it with the question box, like the week. And I think and you can add your own questions, obviously, or we can ask each other questions if people aren't confident enough to ask you. But no, I think that's awesome. And even if you're not there, implementing something each day can be like, maybe you're going to talk about something in the business opportunity that you never talked about before, like your vision. Maybe you're going to post about something that just gets you out of your comfort zone. Like that could be new implementation, which then if you do it for 30 days, it's like every Thursday, I'm going to do a business opportunity post, whatever it is. So I love that. Take action now before you have too much time to overthink it and think you can't do it.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, because I went last year, and one of my fears of missing out is honestly the Friday, Saturday sessions where you get to speak, or where someone's speaking to you about like their business and how and it's multiple speakers, right? So like the general sessions are great because like, you know, they have like some of the top coaches speak to you about their journey, which is inspiring within itself. But you really learn the most from the track workout or workshops. And they do a really deep dive on like what they do in their day-to-day lives. And honestly, like and that's what I'm going to miss because like I enjoyed that last year. But honestly, like if you just listen to them, all of them have the same journey and the same conversation that we're having right now. So just think about that too, because they all once were in the seat that we're sitting in right now, not being shy, not sharing on their stories and learning the tricks of the business. And my takeaway from this conversation is I am not great at posting like on days I don't work out. Like today, I didn't work out. How many stories did you see? You probably didn't see very many. So I need to be better at like posting in general. So that's going to be my goal starting tomorrow, is to post more.
I love that. And yes, it is crazy. And I wish maybe we can kind of live stream some of the sessions if they're not weird about it in that group and just like let you guys listen into some of it. But it is crazy. Every story you hear, it is like, I started in the very top of the bleacher seats and said, I can never do what they do. And then there they are. It's so crazy to me.
And I was looking at some of the speakers that are going to be speaking, because in the one section of the app, it tells you, and some of them are the same speakers that spoke last year. So I would be interested to see like what they discussed this year versus like what they did last year. Because I have like a whole notebook from last year. I just got to find it. I don't know where it is right now, but
is that
they're
like
all like
that are on the big stage? The speakers on
like the track. It was in the track workshops.
I haven't even looked at who the speakers are in that. It's a good thing to know.
I know Haley Peters is one. Christina Delgado is one. Aaron Hopkins is main stage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This is all in the Body Events app?
Yeah. I was this is my fear of missing out. I like literally stalked the app yesterday.
I love it.
Hold on one second.
Do any of you guys follow Joel on Instagram? Okay. I love the fact that he chose who's going to be on stage with him from his post.
So
like just complete, like I just love it.
Megan Davies does.
Sorry, Ashley.
Megan Davies just posted who's going to be on her stage. And Joel did too. And then someone else did too. So what I like that some of them do, like Autumn annoys me a little bit because it's always like people that she's friends with, but like people like Megan Davies and Joel who do like fundraisers and helps the community and does some kind of charity work to get people on stage. I like that. And I really appreciate that. That's really cool. So if you go to the more and under speakers and presenters, it tells you who's speaking.
It just blew my mind. I literally did not go to that last tab. Yeah. Sweet. But yes, I think how some of the trainers do it is definitely nice compared to others.
So one thing that I actually got from the National Wake Up Call was something that I want to implement is a daily recap. And I'm planning on starting a video from the moment we wake up and then little snippets throughout the day. So be prepared for me to be extra annoying for like 1 second clips if you're going. But I'm planning, my intention is to do that every day and post it on my actual feed rather than my story. I mean, end my story, but have it be a hard post of a day recap and some little notes in the caption. Just to have that be a staple. And I actually bought a more sufficient, probably too large tripod for the intention of carrying that around and making it an intention. Also what Tiffany said, and really today, what had gotten me is, if you guys know me, I'm not usually this down, at least my energy feels very down because I have had probably one of the hardest weeks I've had in a very long time. And we're fighting back tears just sitting through this call, listening to all the excitement that Abby has been saying, because it's just a struggle. I thought many times of just canceling the summit trip because I can't, but I can, and I am. And I'm gonna like cry while saying this now, but during dinner, I'm thankful that you went over Holly's summit thing because I tried listening to it in like the little seconds while I was eating dinner, but I only got into the schedule. But what I did hear was the partner on her team who she had talk in the beginning about how she went to summit and it really changed everything for her. And you hear that a lot, and I feel like half of me is putting so much weight on this trip to like magically change everything for me, but I also know it's the intention that I put in it, and that's what I'm going to do also. But yeah, sorry for the tears, not doing well. But the people that have said they've gone to summit sort of at their lowest and been like, why am I even going right now? It's not the right time in this aspect or that aspect. And I feel like that's where I am right now. And I'm going to stop talking. But yeah, so it's not the right time, but I'm hoping that it's exactly what I need, which is why Steven said I should go in the first place. So my long-term goal is that I'm one of those partners on a call saying that this is where I was going to summit and I came out better.
Thank you for sharing that. And I think it is those moments where you do the thing that it's just, you're in a tough place and you're doing a lot. And I think that this will be a good time for you to realize what this business is all about and give you that inspiration and hope and push again. But I know you're always working hard, and I think it will be a good break, even though you have a lot of stress on you. Because I know you love doing this, and I know this brings you joy, and I think it's really going to ignite it just being in person. So I'm glad you're still coming. And we can do whatever we can to support you the best we can. But I do love that idea of like a recap of the day. And maybe it's just like your main key takeaway, or maybe it's like how your day played out with like little snippets into a reel, and like, I don't know, those transition things that make it all blend together, and some cool music. But I think there's so much you can do with it. And even if it's just like you listen to the opening ceremony and your key takeaway is like your vision of next year. And then the next day you see that we posted about a live workout and you're not physically there, but your key takeaway is like something else related to next year, I will be there, or I didn't show up because XYZ happened in my life. And just like whatever comes to your heart, you're not going to know what it is right now. You're going to be like, what am I going to have to share? But like, it will come to you. So I think being vulnerable in that way is perfect. We'll have all the feels there. I can only imagine.
Sorry for the meltdown. Wasn't expecting that, but can't hold it back. But I'm okay now.
Don't be sorry. No, I think it's honestly, it's always those moments where you feel like you're just like at the bottom and so stuck, where you then have this like lifting, and this something gives, and it's normally the thing that you need.
Yeah. And so this is going to be my summit story, that this is how I started. And I just haven't had a moment to breathe, or else I would have posted this on my story and also be vulnerable. And that is what I'm hoping to do either tonight or in the airport tomorrow, and really share this vulnerability. It's not something that, I'm keeping here. It is, I'm going to be honest and share where I'm at, in hopes that people can see a physical transformation from my energy right now and my headspace to what this opportunity can give in that aspect. So yeah, it's all part of my journey and my story, and I'm thankful for that.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing all that.
I'll grab into real quick just to wrap up. My intentions for this week not only is to be back showing up more again and sharing more about this whole opportunity in Summit overall, but I texted my girlfriend who I met at my first Philly Super Weekend, and we've been talking ever since we met. Basically, she's a mom of like 6. She's newly pregnant again, due in January. And we said this time last year when you guys were in St. Louis, we were gonna make it to San Antonio. Obviously, life was not here. So I texted her today and I was like, I have severe FOMO again. Like, I do it again. But I said, I'm claiming it now. But I'm going wherever we're going next year. Like, I'm gonna make it a point, and I'm gonna get there somehow, some way. I don't know what it's gonna happen, but it's coming, and I'm gonna come through, and we're gonna do this again and recommit and get myself there. So that's my implementation before the week ends the next year.
I love that. And honestly, when you spoke it out loud, you got really excited and you got a smile. And then you were like, I just felt a different you when you said that. And I think that's awesome. And you will figure out a way if you want it. And I think even if you share that same story different ways, like this whole week of like, I will be there. Here's why. Here's my vision for next year. When I get there next year, this is what I'm going to feel and do, and all the things. I think that would be so powerful. And that's something, it's not like technically your why, but it's kind of like your goal, you know?
It's my
like
motivation to get myself and to go.
Yeah, I love that, because it's not super long term, but like it's like I'm showing up every day for my business because I will get to that trip. And that could be on a sticky note right in front of you every single day. And I love that. And I want to see you there next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Any other thoughts as I'm going to wrap up early because I know everyone has a lot to do. And if you don't have a lot to do, you can sit and kind of brainstorm like what you want to share with the world this week. Go ahead, Ashley. Oh,
I thought you say have fun. Stay hydrated.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so hot.
I know. That's not my fear of missing out. Just so we're on the same page.
You're
my
like,
my flight is at 5:55 in the morning tomorrow. So I have to leave my house at 3 in the morning. So it is going to be a long,
You can do it, Becky. You can do it.
Got this.
You'll be on a plane and I'll be sleeping. So
shut up, dog.
I think
puppy status is real. This dog being part Doberman is so strong. And when he gets his little attitude spurts, and like I had to go and retrieve a garden gnome and a tennis ball from him outside. And I was hitting the vibration because we have a shock collar for him for at the house here. Well, he started growling at me. I'm like, oh, you're going to play this game. So I shocked him. And he yelped and ran off. I was like, yeah, you don't want to listen? This is what's going to happen. And he looked at me with his ears flat to his head like, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm like, no, too late. You screwed up.
Hopefully he learned.
I was like, well, you get the shocker. He's like, he's eating a garden gnome. I'm like, what? Like, oh my gosh. This is why I have my house gated like it's China. Otherwise, everything in my house would be chewed like it's so bad.
I'll get there with training.
So we're doing the puppy training, but it's just like he's good. Shut up.
But he's not.
No, he's having FOMO because everybody else is outside.
He's excited.
Him and I are the only ones in the house, so he wants to go outside. But when the kids are around, we have to have him on his lead with the shock collar on, because especially when they're out front, he likes to go out like towards the end of our yard and like sit down and watch the cars. Well, we've got rabbits everywhere, and this morning I opened up the back door slightly and I went to reach for his shock collar. When I opened the door, there was nothing out there but like the kids' toys. Well, a rabbit must have come out because he bolted out the door and took off like a racehorse, like straight out the back door, run through my neighbor's backyard because we don't have a fenced in yard. So, and he almost went into the creek that's like on the other side of my neighbor's house. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, and this is the one only time I've ever cracked the door open before putting the collar on.
You'll never do that.
Like, I didn't think twice about it. Right. And I'm like, ugh, 95-pound puppy.
So I have a quick question. Sorry. So I see all these like top coaches doing like retreats and stuff. Is that, they pay for all that themselves? Is that right? Is that what they do?
Yes. And I think to their, I don't know the right word, defense, they make a lot of income and they need tax write-offs. So it actually benefits them in the end, because if you don't write off enough tax, you're screwed. But yes.
So they're doing it for selfish reasons. I got it.
That's just my business mindset saying, oh, I need tax write-offs, so let's get a retreat. But like, you could start them small. Like, I know a coach, I think she was 5-star, and her and some of her coaches do like a group of like 10 girls, and they just go to like I think it was like someone's cabin, like
Mhm.
they all are local, like in the same state. And yeah, it could start really small. And then like if you're talking about like the top coaches and them, where they get like mansions and stuff and swimming pools and fancy stuff, that I believe is
we're
because
gonna
they're
be
making
there
a lot.
someday.
And
That's right.
anything you do with the business is a tax write-off, which would then help balance out their taxes and income.
We should make that a goal for like the team.
Did I
for like
freeze?
next year?
Or did you guys freeze?
It's actually funny, Ashley, because I was just thinking about the whole autumn, how I mentioned about Joel, the whole autumn thing, that how
Am
like
I frozen? Or...
she's like kind of high maintenance. And for me,
okay,
I think it's funny
typing.
because what is that? I think in the one,
right. I don't know
one,
how to
like,
fix frozen, but that was a good question.
Wow, Abby, what happened?
You guys can talk if you're able to. Okay.
Okay, but yeah, no, but yeah, no. So she came in. I think it was in one of her workouts or whatever about how she said like because of like how she grew up, like she grew up super poor and stuff, and she's like. She goes, people may look at me, you know, differently. She goes, but I've earned the right to be high maintenance if I want to be. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I get it, but at least she owns it and she doesn't like hide it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at least she doesn't like, she owns, she's like, yeah, she goes, I've earned that right. And I'm like, I get it. I mean, I like now that I've seen about how like she's like a Barbie doll and like she just stands up for pictures stuff, like I can see it now that people pointed it out. But yeah, I was just like, she's definitely a higher level.
She has a book about her life story, which is actually made me actually change my view on her, if I'm going to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Hold on. All right.
Poor Abby's still frozen.
Find it. I'll find it and I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem.
It tells her, it like literally goes through the story of like how she grew up and what her childhood was like, because she has a lot of like structure issues, like with her body and like hips and stuff.
Yeah, she's mentioned like she has scoliosis and a few other things, but like she doesn't really go into detail about it.
Yeah. So let me find it and I'll let you know. It's in a book thing over here.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Safe travels for those of you traveling.
Have a good night, guys. Have fun.